Did the narcissist who hurt you ever ask you a question, something along the lines of, tell me the deepest secrets about yourself, the secrets you haven't told anybody? Did they make it seem like they're the safest person to rely on, the safest person to open up to, and you naturally found yourself telling them the details you normally don't share with people? If yes, then you need to watch today's episode. In today's episode, I'll explain why a narcissist needs you to tell them all your secrets, what purpose all of that serves, and how they control you using your secrets and your past. Hi, I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, please consider subscribing because your subscription to the channel helps spread awareness about narcissistic abuse. The first thing we need to know about narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths before understanding why they collect secrets is that they are data collecting and processing machines. When they interact with someone, they do not do so with an intention of connecting with them at an emotional level. I have said this so many times in my other episodes that they do not have a proper emotional self. When interacting, they are either trying to one-up the other person, look better than them, or they're trying to study them to know exactly what their pain points are, what are their vulnerabilities that can be weaponized and taken advantage of. Most of the time, they are the ones who want to be listened to. But occasionally, especially in the earlier stages of the relationship, they try to listen properly. They try to have this open heart available to connect with you. And they ask open-ended questions. They ask you about your past. They ask you about your childhood, your relationships, and you are moved. You are taken aback and you feel so much awe and joy at once. Why? Because this person shows genuine interest in knowing who you are. Their eyes are filled with sympathy or empathy. Their body speaks differently than their intentions. When trying to extract information from you, when trying to know your secrets, they are trying to do two things. The first is to sort this information in different ways to understand how you function emotionally, what is your behavior like in a particular situation, what triggers that behavior, and how they can weaponize it to get maximum supply. For example, you may tell them about your past toxic relationship with a partner who used to control you through silent treatment. The narcissist would want to know exactly how that worked, what triggered that, and most importantly, how that made you feel. By understanding and analyzing your behavioral responses, they are able to assess what your core wounds are, what your vulnerabilities are, and what buttons can be pushed to control you. Later down the line, when you get into a relationship with such a person, what do you end up finding? They are now giving you a silent treatment. And not only that, they are making it worse by stonewalling you as well. That was their intention right from the beginning. That is why they wanted to know your secrets. That is why they wanted to know more about your behavior. That is why they wanted to know what your triggers are, what has happened to you. They may use that information later to blame everything on your behavior, on your past. Just because you have had childhood trauma, you had relational issues with your primary caretaker, your mom or dad, now everything all of a sudden is your fault and you're projecting those issues onto the relationship. Just because you have had difficulties with other partners, now you're carrying the baggage into the relationship and you're making it difficult for them to love you. That is how they avoid accountability and absolve themselves of all the responsibility they should be taking for their abusive behavior and actions. The second thing they do is they establish deep psychological repo. Because think about this for a moment. If you open up, of course, you will feel the other person you're opening up to is trustworthy. And opening up about your secrets, sharing them with someone is almost equal to getting psychologically naked, bringing down all those barriers and walls that you put up when interacting with people. So you are showing them the deepest core. And that means at the same time, the bond that is developing becomes of the Herculean strength. Later, when they start abusing you, when they show you their real face, it becomes extremely difficult for you to accept them as they are. Your brain activates denial and you naturally justify their actions. That is how the trauma bonding begins. That is where the betrayal begins and the shock that comes with it. Extracting all those secrets from you is akin to inviting you to take a deep dive into the part of the sea or the ocean that is not known to you, that you do not know how to navigate. You trust them. You enter that part. When you get deeper and deeper, they disappear. They leave your hand. Now you do not know where to go. It is like leaving you in the middle of nowhere. No clue, no direction. And that is what makes it extremely difficult for you to get out of the relationship and for you to accept that you are on your own and have been taken advantage of. Extracting secrets from people inflates their ego even further because they see themselves as this secret collector who knows the darkest and the deepest secrets of so many people, and that makes them feel so unique, also in control. Nobody knows about them and who they are, yet they know every detail of these people who they made to trust them. This is how the thinking process of a narcissist works. By knowing these secrets, they know these people are going to be more compliant, more obedient, subservient, and will try to appease the narcissist's ego because the narcissist can potentially use that information against these people to shame or to expose them. In conclusion, a narcissist wants to know your secrets, not to connect with you, not to heal those parts they claim they would heal, but to know how you could potentially behave if they were to trigger you a certain way. What are your pain points, your vulnerabilities that could be used against you? They want to know your secrets to feel on top of their game. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Let me know how you liked it in the comments below. I'll talk with you in the next one. As always, let the healing begin and continue.